Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Corner. My name is Veronica Rose, and our special guest today is from Kenya. He will tell us more about himself. Fred, go ahead.
Thank you for hosting me for this important discussion. I am Frederick Wahome. I am a leader at SecUnit Technologies, where we do provide solutions and services in technology and also in cyber security. We are also in digital forensics, where we provide services in incident response, and also we support customers in matters to do with litigation support in court as expert witness. Also, I am a vice chair at Kenya Cybersecurity and Forensic Association, which has been running for the last 6 years, where we bring together the professionals and we try to participate in this discourse in matters to do with cybersecurity and forensics.
All right, thank you so much for your introduction. So our topic of discussion today is on cybercrime. And we understand that in the Republic of Kenya, the policing mandate is actually to protect, to maintain law and order, to detect and prevent crime. And we now understand that the government is doing its best to fight cybercrime. So as a digital forensic expert, we would like to hear from you today. Can policing prevent cybercrime?
It is an interesting discussion because this is an interesting time, because like today we had a Twitter hacking incident where it's alleged that an insider shared the internal systems on Twitter, and that is how high-profile accounts were compromised. So it is a must that we must participate in the discourse to do with cybersecurity and forensics for most of our people, because there is cybersecurity and there's cybercrime. So in this case, our focus is on cybercrime. And the cybersecurity is the whole aspect of trying to set the control measures, the legislation, the technical, the training around the cyber. And now when you come to the cybercrime, it is now the crime aspect of the same, which can be done through the technology or done through the people. So when you come to our scenario here in Kenya, things are already changing because we have understood that every person can become a victim. In this case, the citizens, also the individuals, companies, also the corporate, and as well as government. And the capacity that we have as far as the policing is concerned, we can say that we are not, we do not have the correct number at this point. Because traditionally, our police officers have already been trained on matters to do with the normal physical crime. But now there's a new paradigm shift as far as the crime is concerned. So this is a crime that is cross-border, it is already orchestrated from, internationally. And here we are. Can the traditional tools and methodologies still work? Can our police officer use the same tools, the same mechanisms, the same methodologies to be able to investigate crime that has been happening, let's say in South Africa, but the target and the victim is based in Nairobi? How are they going to, how are they going to access whoever has done or committed this crime? Also, our justice system, how well is it already adapting to the new ways of that crime is being committed? So when you look at our situation in Kenya, we already have Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act. But the question is, are our police officers already trained? Do they have the technical capability to be able to fight this crime? Apart from the training and awareness within the police department, Take an example of someone in, let's say, Nyandarua, for instance, and they go to report the crime in one of the police stations. Are the police officers well equipped to be able to assist this person? Because if you take a case scenario, most of these, most of these cases, when you take them to a standard police station, most likely you may not get the necessary support. Even if you get, they are going to refer you to the DCI cybercrime unit at, along Kiabu Road. But can they be able to handle crime for 40, 50 million Kenyans? How about trying to decentralize the cybercrime unit such that every police station within the country can be able to handle the incident response part of it? Before now, the high profile is, taken up by the DCI at the headquarters. Another thing is, are there collaborations and partnerships amongst the security agencies? If you look at the national intelligence, if you look at the military, if you look at the police officers, how about now the private sector? For instance, right now, for the policing to be successful, you must have the right intelligence. And this intelligence, we are going to draw it from the cyber, deployed by cyber terrorists right now. Probably me as a private person, when I'm doing my own stuff on the internet, I can be able to access a link or even a blog or even an email that is being sent or exchanged within the cyber terrorism network, something like darknet. And if I am able to, to get such information in advance, are there platforms and frameworks already there established such that this information can be able to be shared with the right, cybercrime investigative agencies? So at the foundational level, what we need is intentional partnerships and collaborations. We can learn something from Israel, because Israel being the leader in cybersecurity and being very successful in policing and maybe watching their citizens against cyber threats and cyber terrorism. One thing that they have applied as a country is they have collaborated, the private sector, the government agencies, the military, and they even conduct trainings together jointly, between the private sector, between the justice system, and also the law enforcement. But when you come to us, what are we doing about it? The current Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act. How many police officers understand about that act? How many, let's say, military people, because they might become victims of the same, and they also need to understand as they go to court, what about the judges? Because the justice system must be able to align with the applicable law, and also the systems of investigation, the law enforcement. So at the end of it, it's possible to police, maybe to watch whatever is happening on the internet, to be able to police the cybercrime. But it's not something that is very simple and straightforward. If you take a case of a corporate environment, for you to be able to collect information which will enable you to know what is happening within such an SME or such a corporate environment, you must have a way to be able to collect that information through a process of cyber threat intelligence. This requires you to set up technical platforms and frameworks within the organizations. And again, some of such information, if shared by, to our law enforcement officers, it can be able maybe to add value to them. For instance, let's say an organization is attacked by a ransomware. How easy is it for such an organization to be able to identify that a ransomware has already attacked them? How can they also be able to know the methodologies that whoever attacked them used? This information will be valuable for them as a company. It will also be valuable if it is shared with the law enforcement, because if it involves a criminal activity, definitely you expect the police officers to come on board and assist. So at the end of this, the first one is to have intentional collaboration and partnership amongst all these players. The private, even the academia will not be left behind, because they're supposed to be the one leading in terms of research and innovation. But we have not seen that in our Kenyan context. Next, we have the military people. The military comes in because the cyber terrorism, which is their jurisdiction, the country will be attacked through cyber by terrorists. They are going to use tools. So if me as a private person, I come across an information where cyber terrorists, they have targeted, a government installation, are there for me to be able to share the intelligence people? Because the internet and it works, the cyber, it's very different from the traditional crime as we have known it. But we are not bad off. We can say that at least having a legal framework is the starting point. Second, we'll have data protection very soon. That it's now creating capacity building, awareness within the police force. We have seen also through the association, many police officers who have done criminology as a course. We have seen them intentionally developing that interest to be able to learn cybersecurity. The reason being, they go to investigate a crime, and then they encounter that crime has a cybercrime component inside of the same. For instance, something happened, then they want to use CCTV to be able to be admitted as an electronic evidence, but they need to have some skills to be able to conduct their investigation. And one of the skills they need to have is the digital forensics. But you'll find that from how they have been trained, they still do not have these skills to be able to extract this and package the evidence so that it can be admitted into the courts. So this is the high time that we encourage our police officers to be able to join on board. After they join and they start becoming technical and knowing these things, they can now use that to be able to influence their seniors. And out of that, we'll have a very simpler way of having the collaboration and even partnership within the law enforcement and also within our intelligence officers and also within the military.
Thank you so much, Fred, for sharing with us. I really believe this requires collective collaboration with all agencies that we have. So thank you so much for sharing with us today. And to our viewers, thank you so much for watching. If you'd love to join in these sessions, just hit the subscribe button, check out the link below, and also